Good morning, my loves. Happy Wednesday. It is another beautiful morning here at the lake. It's about 5 a.m., bright and early. High today, 113. Again, what do you expect? It's July in Arizona. It's what we get when you live in the desert in the summer. Good topic, one we have talked about several times, but somebody I spoke with yesterday said, can you touch on it again? So, of course, I'll touch on it again. Picking your battles. Honey, please listen. There are people in this world that love chaos. They love to instigate arguments, fights, trauma drama. Some people are honestly addicted to trauma drama. And if there isn't any, they will create it. Of course, most of the time, once they create it, they're going to complain about it. Part of the whole trauma drama. You don't have to participate. You really, really don't. Not my monkey, not my circus. You can watch it from afar and say, best of luck to you and yours, and just walk away. But when people bring trauma drama to your doorstep, when somebody initiates or attempts to initiate an argument, an altercation, honey, we always have three options. Now, I have heard this just blows people's minds. It's like, oh no, I don't think so. Just hear me out. Three options. Now, this is just my favorite analogy for an argument. So you're talking to someone and it starts to escalate. The other person starts getting loud. Maybe they're gesturing, they're getting in your face, getting in your space, snapping and clapping. I want you to see them as a very old, toothless chihuahua, maybe a poodle. One of those really old dogs, older than dirt, not a tooth in their head, their tongue hanging out of their mouth, snapping and snarling and barking. That's all they're doing. They're barking to bark. Whoever's coming at you, they're doing it to hear their own voice. They're not trying to get a point across. They're not wanting to listen to you. They're not wanting a dialogue. They are barking to bark. Now, you now have three choices. You can react, which means you bark back. So great. Now we have two old toothless dogs barking at each other. Nobody's hearing what each other is saying. You're just barking to hear your own voice. Yeah, not really productive. It's kind of stupid. Option two, you can, instead of reacting, you respond. My assistant. You can respond, which means you take a moment and you give it a little thought. Is this situation, is this person worth my energy? Are they even going to listen to what I'm saying? And then after you think, then you make your decision and you move forward. Hopefully, you're not going to start barking. The third option is always my favorite. You realize they're not going to listen to anything I'm saying. They're listening to themselves. Maybe they are a reactive abusers. They're doing this to get your reaction, to get the reaction of people that are standing around listening. Are you going to give them what they want? Are you going to give them that reaction? Or are you just going to say, you know, you're really not worth my time and energy. This is not worth my time and energy. When you can come to me as an adult and sit down and have a calm conversation, you know where to find me. And you walk away. React, respond, walk away. Your three options. And keep in mind, anytime, I promise you, anytime you're talking with someone, things are getting a little heated, there's a disagreement, and somebody starts getting loud. They get in your space, the snapping and the clapping and all that nonsense. As soon as somebody raises their voice, do you know why? Think about this, it'll make sense. They raise their voice because they feel they are not being heard. If you feel you are not being heard, you fear you are losing the battle. Honey, essentially, as soon as they raise their voice, you won. It's over. Walk away. No need to go any further. They know they're losing. They're getting loud. We're done here. Thank you. Turn around and walk away. Just something to think about. You don't have to buy into the trauma drama. You don't have to respond to that email. You can always delete it. Sometimes you can. If it's work related, never delete it. But you don't have to respond to it. You don't. You can let it go. If it needs to be shown as read, they'll see that you looked at it and you're not responding. You're not giving them the reaction that they're looking for. Keep in mind, with emails, you never know who is blind copied, who is BCC'd on that email. Maybe your boss, maybe the CEO, the CFO, whoever. You never know. So just be smart. Don't be a right fighter. Don't get into an argument or an altercation just to prove your point, to prove that you're right and they're wrong. You're not really proving anything except that you like to argue. Is it worth it? Yeah, no. Allow people, give them the grace to think whatever they think. People are who they are. We can agree to disagree. I agree to disagree with people every day. Okay, that's how you see things. God bless, good for you. Okay, I see it differently. I interpret it differently. My thoughts are different. My beliefs are different. My values are different, whatever. It's okay. You can agree to disagree. You don't have to shove your point of view, your belief, down somebody's throat. It's okay. Do not be jealous or envious of other people. There's enough light in this world for everybody. You don't have to worry about being in the shadows. You have your own light. Just be proud of who you are and your authenticity. But please, my love, pick your battles. Not everyone and everything is worthy of your time and energy. They're not. Let them know that. You have to be rude. You can say, okay, thank you, and turn around and walk away. If you're in your office, and they come in and they start in, say, when you can come back and discuss this calmly, great. But right now, I don't have the energy for this. This situation, this conversation is not worthy of a response. It's not worthy of my time and energy. But when you can come back as an adult and speak calmly, we'll revisit this. Thank you. Saying thank you means we're done here, and you can close your office door. Very simple. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to raise your voice. Raising your voice means you fear you're not being heard. And if you fear you're not being heard, that's right. You're fearing, you think you've already lost. So you're trying to prove a point. You're getting louder. You're becoming an old barking chihuahua, an old barking toothless poodle. Just standing there barking to be heard. Hear your own voice. Do not allow it to become two poodles standing there barking just to hear each other or to hear their own voices. Nobody's hearing what's being said. Nobody cares what's being said. You're just listening to yourself. Pick your battles wisely because you're worthy of inner peace and tranquility, a peaceful environment. Don't let anybody steal your peace, honey, ever.